Live, I'm live. Started trying to survive up top, treetop. A lot of them come and go, but I don't drop. So today I'm about to bring another topic. Thought I'd do this one live today. Hello, Linda. Hope everything is good. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're ready to learn. So, the topic for today is going to be the basics of building an online business coming to you from the level of a tree. So, just that's awesome. It's awesome. So just gonna break it down right now. Get into really like the basics of creating an online business. Kind of like the business model from where it sits today, as far as I know, is the best way. Pretty much to do the whole thing online and gonna be pretty much focusing on getting customers because really, I mean, what's a business without customers, right? So the first step really is just like deciding what kind of business you want to do. And really, the best way to look at that is, what's the biggest problem in your own life that you'd like to solve? And if you can't really think of anything, what would be the biggest problem in just the people around you, the people that you associate with on a daily basis? Like, what's their biggest problem that you feel like you could solve? And just break that problem down. And you know, you don't really need any kind of degree or anything. If you feel like you have the ability to solve a problem, I mean, that's all you really need. Even if you don't feel like you have the ability to solve a problem and it's a problem that you have, you could build a business based off of just learning how to solve your own problem and teaching that process to others. So, yeah, what would you like to build a business around? What kind of problems do you feel like are your best at solving? So the next step would really be to look at all the other people doing business in that field or that niche. Who are your competitors? Uh, pretty much just go through all the information they have. Look at any kind of products they're selling. Um, look at the good and the bad. Like how can you make yourself different from what's already out there? How can you improve on what's already out there? So next step is kind of going into a vision. You always want to have a vision from the start of, what do you want your business to look like? Where do you want it to be in 5 years? Where do you want it to be in 10 years? Just try to be clear on that. The clearer you are, the more you kind of meditate, focus on that vision. That's the better. So going more into the vision, just kind of planning stuff out from the start. Kind of the foundation you want to get going on is, what do you want your business to look like? How how do you want to work? Like, how much do you want to work each month? How much do you want to work each day? Uh, Break it down. Like what would be perfect for you? And I mean, there's no perfect number. Maybe you're just doing this. Excuse me. Maybe you're just doing this from the start. You already have another job. So you might only be able to put in like 1 hour a day, maybe like 5 days a week. Me personally, I kind of think that's really like the minimum you want to put in, because any less than that, you're not going to be really building much momentum. Momentum's huge when it comes to a business. Like they say, like the more accomplishments you make, the more you're motivated, more you get done, more you're going to get done in the future. It's like exponential, that kind of thing. So, Linda, if you're working a lot of hours right now, carve away hour a day, 3 to 5 days a week. Just get started. Really, don't be afraid to get started. Um, don't try to be perfect. Just start putting stuff out. Put it out. See how the audiences respond to it. Um, as I've said before, pretty much the biggest mistake I see most people make is that they quit too early. You know, they get started and they don't really see anything happening, and it takes them a while before they get any kind of traction. So it's just a numbers game. Like you gotta put out enough content really that you're gonna get picked up on whatever site you're using is algorithm. And that's a whole nother video, how to kind of spread yourself over the internet so that people can find you on different platforms. And each platform has really their own like unique algorithm of how they're gonna show your content to other people. But at the end of the day, it all really comes down to putting out content regularly, and that's pretty much the basis of it. So ask yourself, questions like, do you need to work from an office? Do you need to work from home? Where can you work to be less distracted? If it's an hour a day, it's probably pretty easy to do from home. I mean, you could even look into like a library. A lot of libraries now have like studio time that you can rent, stuff like that. So, another question you can ask yourself is like, do you want to do this 100% on your own? Do you want to work with partners? Do you want to have employees? How many employees do you want to have? How big do you want your business to get? I would recommend at the beginning, depending on what kind of capital you have, just start yourself. Really, that's all you need is yourself in the beginning to start putting stuff out, and you'll know when it's time to hire an assistant. You'll start to see the things that you don't really enjoy working on, the things that take up a lot of your time that you could easily hire someone out for, online for a couple dollars an hour to take care of that for you, so you can focus on the stuff that's most important. And yeah, that's awesome, Linda. You can work from anywhere. I enjoy the freedom of working from anywhere. That's really one of the first things that got me into it. And that's even better if you already have inventory, plenty of inventory. That's great. I mean, yeah, you're already set up. Like you're already a step ahead of most people. So yeah, just going back, look at the other people in the field selling the inventory that you already have. Look what they're doing, and just think about, meditate, focus on how you can do better than them, like how you can provide more value than the competitors. So another big question is like, how much money do you actually want to make? It's a good thing to be clear on. Maybe you don't even want to make any money. That's fine. Like maybe you want to make a ton of money. Sky's the limit, really. So whatever you think you're capable of. So the first step of building an online business is building an audience. Of course, you're going to need an audience. And, that's another thing too, that you can look at your competitors, look at their audience, like look at the kind of people that they're attracting to their businesses. And, you don't need to like I see Linda saying she's gone to craft fairs to see what else is out there. You don't need to just look online. Like if you understand your market, where your audience hangs out off of the internet. You're not limited to being online. However, I feel like as far as research goes, you could probably get a lot more done and understand the market a lot quicker. Because obviously you don't have to like physically drive to each location or travel to check things out. So yeah, just like the basics of online business, first step is build an audience. Second step is build a relationship with your audience, with your customers. Get to understand your customers, get your customers to understand who you are, what you're trying to do as a business and as a person. Look at then look at the market. Look at look at everything that's out there. And that's pretty much like the nuts and bolts of it. Now I'm going to kind of break it down, get a little bit more specific. Some things that I find very important that, a lot of this stuff, like I never was taught in business school. You're not going to find this on like traditional business sites. So what you want to do is make sure that you're always honest. Don't try to lie to get a sale. Don't try to like spread the truth on how much you know. People are going to pick up on that. And from what I've seen, like that will break a business quicker than anything else. Once a person gets a dishonest reputation, like me personally, certain business people who are dishonest, who have been dishonest in the past, like I would never want to invest in their businesses. Like they could have the best business model in the world, but if it's a person who I see as being shady or dishonest, I'm just going to stay away from that business. I wouldn't want to put any money into it. So make sure that you put the needs of your customers and your audience before your need to make any money. And so like don't promote something just because you're trying to make money. Promote it because or build it because that you know it's going to provide value to your customers. Like always put that first. I think that's a huge problem in business today. Seems like the more corporate things get, once a business starts to become traded publicly, excuse me, there's like a shift. So it's like the business is no longer serving their customers as much as they're serving the board of directors and the stockholders. And it just turns into a game of like, how can we increase our stock price so that more people will invest instead of like, how can we provide value to our customers? And I mean, in the past, businesses could get away with that. But today it's so easy to go and disrupt a business that's doing something like that because what happens is, everybody gets sick of this like profits over people type mentality. And all it takes is one person to go on the internet, build something up. People see that this person is more legit, more sincere than the, major corporations. And they just, they're going to be putting their money there in a second. So, Linda's saying produce numbers at all costs, but I don't really understand. Oh, okay. So yeah, producing numbers, yeah, that's not a good motto. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so don't focus on the money, focus on providing value to your customers. That's like one of the biggest pieces of advice I've learned about business and I've seen. And I feel like the problem with business today is that, yeah, like especially these bigger businesses, they're not really focused on providing value to their customers. They're focused on, the bottom line, making money, their stock price, stuff like that. A good example of that I see is like Elon Musk. Like, I mean, that's somebody I would invest in any business he's working on all day. I feel like this man would like, he's focused on providing like a better future. Like he wants to see improvements in the world. He wants to see people have a better quality of life. And it's very clear that he's putting that over his stock prices, and not many people do that. And watching, the mainstream investing networks, CNBC, Bloomberg, that kind of stuff, they just attack this man left and right. And I mean, it's because they're invested in his stock and they're losing money because he's not focused on them making money. He's focused on helping people. At least this is my take from it. Everybody has their own different opinion, but this is what I see. So, yeah, there's a lot to that. Just look at who's running stuff, like what that person is like, and that's what customers are really going to see at the end of the day. So, let's see here. Next point I want to make: when you do, bring out your first product, or even if you're just promoting somebody else's product, you shouldn't be promoting it unless you honestly believe that it's the best out there on the market, that it's going to provide more value than anything else out there. And if not, of course, other people are going to see that too. They're going to say, why would I buy your product when there's something else out there better? If you're really, a boss in your niche, in your category, then they would think you should see that too, which really you should. So yeah, make sure you're only mess with the best, as I would say. So next step, yeah, this is really important. Communicate with your audience regularly. Focus on providing value for them. The more value you give, the better. Once had the chance to talk to a very successful business person who built up a business that I personally think is the best in his category. And the you know biggest question I had for him really was like, there's a lot of businesses in your niche, a lot of businesses in your category. How do you manage to like stay on top, but not only stay on top for so many years, but be so far ahead of everyone else? And without even having to think, this man said, it's because we provide more free content than anybody else. And it was like, I was just thought about it. I was like, whoa, that makes more sense. And now I see it. Yeah, you do. And that's why, really looking back, I've always had more respect for this business than the other businesses in that niche, because they've given me, way more value for free than I've seen people selling even. So yeah, that's a pretty big thing. Well, the next step really comes to like getting to know your customers and your audience. Include them in your business. Let them know that they're a big reason that your business is successful. Give back to them, like I was saying, any way you can, providing value. Make them a part of, as your business grows, make them a part of the story. Make sure when you're telling people about the story of your business, how it came about, that you're basically like, including your customers in that story and how they're a part of your business and a part of your community. And, this is just kind of like really reminds me of like branding tactics, like going back to branding yourself, branding your business. It'll help a lot to set up like events where you can meet your customers in person. So get to know your customers, get to know your audience. And I mean, yeah, like a lot of the bigger businesses today, their marketing. I mean, think of how much money they're going to be spending on like putting a commercial out to get you to buy their newest product. Well, the newer businesses that I see today that I think have it right, that have a better idea of marketing, is instead of like paying for some expensive commercial or some billboard, they'll pay for some kind of like free event. Maybe like they'll get some like catering, they'll rent some kind of like expo space, something like that. Just have a free event where all people can come, any customers can come, learn about the business, free food, stuff like that. So like, really, you want to put the extra money you're generating from your business in marketing, like give that back to your customers. Don't give it to the television stations or the billboards. However, that kind of marketing is good too. But I would say, you could much more effectively market over paid ads online. That's another video for another day. So you want to make sure that you're, directing. You're going to have different platforms where people are going to find you on your business, like different online platforms. So like YouTube would be a platform. For me, my other major platform is books. So what you're going to do is, say you're on YouTube, you're going to direct your YouTube audience to another platform that you're giving value, so that your audiences can get the most value as possible. And this is just going to exponentially build your audience, because you're going to be just finding people from different areas of the internet, different areas in life. And the most important thing, many people, marketers that I study today, say when it comes to building a business, is the email list. So like, you control the email list, and traffic is what they call it. Like basically, when you're bringing audience or customers to discover you, that's called like traffic. So if you're driving traffic to your business, you're bringing customers to your business. And what I'm getting at basically is that, like, you could have all these sources of traffic, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all these things, and you don't control them. The one traffic that you have the most control over is an email list. So like, people could get an account shut down, all these things can happen, but you control the email list. So like once you get people on your email list, then that's the best kind of traffic that you can have. And that's pretty much one of the easiest ways also to stay in touch with your community. So to get people on your list, what you want to have what is called an initial offer. Some people call it a self-liquidating offer. So basically, you want to offer something usually for free to get people on the list. However, you want to have a product. Of course, like I was saying before, it should be providing a lot of value. And this product is basically so you're, breaking even on the money that you're spending for the advertising. So, say you've got a product that's, could be like $5. Uh, that $5 you're making from the percentage of people that buy that product after they already sign up for your list and get your free product, you can offer them this product. And the money that you make from this product is really going to go to pay for the advertising costs. So if you're doing this right, which, of course, is going to take some research and some practice to get it right at first. But once you're doing it right, basically you should be advertising for free. And that's pretty big to be able to advertise for free nowadays, to be able to bring in customers for free. So when it comes down to really a business, businesses make money. Whatever you do with that money is up to you, and that's going to really determine the future of your business. But just to start out, as a general rule, you want to have like 3 different product offers. The first one being, like I was saying, just like a cheaper product, what is known as like a front end product, which is basically gonna provide value to your customers for cheap and also cover your advertising costs. You're not looking to make a profit off of this. You're just looking to provide value and pretty much break even on advertising. So go and, like I said before, see what other people in your niche, your category are doing. Just try to do something better. Try to provide more value for a better price than they're doing. Just deliver value. So the next product that you want to have is like it's called a backend product. This is going to be to start. This is really going to be your highest costing product that's going to bring in the most revenue. And these products are usually anywhere from like a couple $100 to $1,000. And it can be anything from like information, a course, you providing value. And I see you missed some of that, Linda. Well, after this, I'm just going to post the whole video online so you can go back and watch whatever part you missed, no problem. And what you're going to do is you're going to have this product, just like everything else, go see what else is out there. Can be anything from information to a physical product. And this is going to provide you with actual like profit, right? This is going to provide you with profit that I would recommend in the beginning, investing it all back in the business. And from what I've seen, for me personally, and from what I've seen with other people, friends and family that have started businesses, this is one of the most difficult things mentally to do, because it's hard. Like, if it'd be like going to work for a job and then getting paid and then like having to pay for like your uniform or something like that. Like, it wouldn't make sense, right? So if you're in that kind of mentality, like you wouldn't pay money to like improve your job. Like, they pay you, right? So like when I first started making money with my business, I was like, well, if I was putting this money into like back into my business, like there's a possibility I could lose it, and then it's like I didn't make any money at all. And I would be worried about stuff like that. I see a lot of other people worried about stuff like that. Causes them to really like take shortcuts and try to cut costs in ways that really, if anything, could be hurting them. So yeah, I would say like as a this is also going to help you mentally too, get in the mindset of like investing back into your business. Just when you start out, I mean, don't look to make a profit. Look to just like invest everything back into your business. And this includes hiring people, marketing. Those are the two biggest things. So once you've got that down, it's just going to be exponentially, and you'll get to the point where you have basically money left over, and you'll know when it's time to start taking profit. So the last, one of the most important business models today, the last product that you really want to get set up just to get started. And remember, this is all just to get started. Like once you have these 3 products and you get started and you're getting traffic and everything like that, perfect all this first before you really start branching out with other products. So the last thing you want to have is what's called like a continuity program, which is basically like a monthly membership. And anything from like a platform where you're answering people's questions, and a course could be one. But basically, the kind of the general business model that I'm seeing today uh, is people will offer like a $1 trial to try out the platform for like a month. So just get people on for as cheap as possible. And then it's anywhere from like $20 to $100 a month, depending on the level of value that you're providing, depending on depending on what your customers are charging, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's like, this is going to be the big one because, I would say like, what you want to have is you want to have continual engagement with your customers. So the more customers that you get on this continuity platform, the more access you're going to have to them, the better you're going to understand them, the better you're going to be able to help them in the future, the better you're going to be able to attract more customers. And that's pretty much it. But just something that came to mind at the end, closing out, is like really going back to like being honest and always providing value. Is you want to make sure that you're being your genuine self. Like just be yourself. Don't try to be who you think your customers want you to be. Don't try to be like that other business that's doing really well, because you want to attract the right customers. And if you're not being yourself, you're going to attract the wrong customers. And not only that, but those customers are going to realize over time that you're not being yourself, and they're going to be like, what am I doing here? This person is not who I thought it was. So, no apologies. Be yourself, whoever that is. I mean, of course, like, shouldn't even have to say, but like I was just watching the show called The Profit the other night, and the main investor went to go do a business deal with some people, and one of the owners of the business was, bragging about how he had this radio show talking about how he was like racist and sexist, and the business had all these problems. It was going out of business, and as soon as he said that, I knew right away. I'm like, this man's not going to invest in your business, man. Like you can't. Like that's just like more toxic than anything in a business, is having somebody who is just like hateful towards other people. Like this is just bad business altogether. Like make sure any employees, you ever see this in your business, like nip it in the bud right away, get rid of it. Like you don't want that. And he even said, he's like, you guys owe a ton of money to the IRS, your business is falling apart, like all these things I can fix, but I can't do anything about a person who is like hatred and has like issues with like, bringing down other people. So that's about it for the day. It's about all I have to say. Got the community platform set up on Discord. Gonna go and build up on it a little bit more in the coming days. Also, the email list is just getting started. Going to provide a lot of value on that. Got both those links in the comments. Go ahead and smash the likes if you got some value. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to be updated when more videos come out. And comments if you have any, questions if you have any. That's about it. I'm out.